Slough.
Slough. Yeah, that's a good place name, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Slough.
Slough.
Anyway. Hello, you're listening to episode 20 of Pod-em-up. We hope you're all keeping as safe as possible. What are you doing outside on a nice day like this? Get indoors, play some video games, and listen to us as we officially kick off our third season, in quotation marks. We've got Jet Set Radio in the book club, plus Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and more. I'm Ollie, this is Tibbs.
Hello there.
And we are Pod-em-up. So, Tibbs, what have you been playing?
Animal Crossing, New Horizons.
Ah, yes, I saw on Twitter.
Like the rest of the world. I
Yes,
think.
it seems very popular at the moment.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, cool. We were thinking of getting that because we thought our daughter Alice might enjoy it. But
yeah.
So I was interested to hear your take on it.
It's really good. I think it's one of those games that's come out at the right time in the world. With everything being as uncertain and stressful and frightening as it is at the moment, it's nice to have a game where you don't really do anything. You just knock about on an island. You pick some fruit, catch some butterflies. You help an owl open a big museum. You dig up some fossils, and you just generally just like I say, you just knock about on this little island. That's it. It sounds dull, but it's actually really good. It's actually really engrossing to just exist on this nice little island, nice little animals knocking about, loving life. It's good. I would say it's an acquired taste. But the guy I work with is into all sort of Call of Duty, action, violent, generic video game type stuff.
The type. Yes, you know the type.
Yeah. And he said that he'd noticed I was playing it on the Switch because he's got Switch as well, and it came up on the friends list. And he bought it because he saw I was playing it and thought, he's been on that for a while. I might wonder if that's a good one. And he's loving it.
Really? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's really into it. So I can't recommend it enough. I think kids would love it. Kids would really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But we were watching me and my partner on YouTube. There's a video on there of there's a grandmother. She's I can't remember how old she is. She's 83. And she's logged 4,000 hours on the DS version of Animal Crossing.
Oh, right. I was going to say, I thought you were going to say this version, and I thought that was quite a quick amount of hours to cram into. She must be playing it constantly.
No. And the video was giving her a new Nintendo Switch with a copy of the game as like a little surprise. So and it's just a really sweet little video. But it's a great game. I got Doom Eternal as well. That's taken a bit of a backseat to Animal Crossing, to be honest. I played a bit of it. Did you play the 2016 reboot of Doom?
No, I think I started a demo of it and got bored. It's just not really my type of game, to be honest.
I enjoyed the 2016 version. I really got into it. I loved the sort of the new mechanics that they'd brought into it, collecting the ammo and health from the enemies as you go through, rather than being sort of dedicated pickups and stuff. I thought it was a really, it just made the gameplay flow in a really nice way. I'm not really feeling it with Doom Eternal, and I don't know why. I mean, it's essentially the same game, but there's just something about it that feels different. I can't really describe it, but it just hasn't really clicked with me at all. So I haven't really played that too much. I probably put a couple of hours into it. So to be fair, I haven't given it a fair crack yet. But yeah, I expected to like it more than I did.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about the first one when like the reboot you just mentioned, and they said it was much more of a gamey sort of first person shooter than you get nowadays, because it's sort of just focused on pure action rather than sort of convoluted kind of mechanics that you have to wait for and stuff. It's just like very kind of immediate action kind of thing.
It is definitely from the time it starts. It's just constant, non-stop. There's no prolonged sort of cutscenes or puzzle sections or anything. It's just it's just carnage, really. Which is what you want from a Doom game.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta even if it's not your thing, you gotta sort of take your hat off to that sort of commitment to keeping it old school in the way the original ones were.
Yeah, they have added like platform and climbing sections in Doom Eternal, which I'm not sure I'm not sure those sort of things are ever a good idea in an arcade FPS, but like I say, I haven't played it enough to really pass judgment on it. So I'll give it more of a chance when I eventually ever get bored of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I think Animal Crossing, just to get back to it, it's one of those games. I never really, I don't find myself gravitating towards those games that sort of don't have an end. Do you know what I mean? Like they can go on and on and on. For some reason, I've got it in my head, because my wife played the Animal Crossing on the Wii, and I quite like watching her play it, and I think my daughter would like it. But for me personally, I've never been drawn to those kind of games, because at the moment I like to know, right, what am I going to play next? I'm going to play this game and it takes X number of hours.
Yeah.
And I'll take a little bit more than that. But I don't want to spend much more than that, because I've got so many other games that I want to get through. That and I know you shouldn't approach gaming like this, but I kind of do, and I can't quite get out of that mindset that I could start this game and I could potentially sink months into it. It's something that for some reason I can't get my head around. I don't know why.
I mean, there is an end game in Animal Crossing, technically speaking.
Okay.
There's a series of objectives you are tasked with to enrich the island a bit, and upgrade some of the buildings, and so you start off with a little tent, and you can upgrade it to a house, and then you can add extra rooms and levels and a basement, and as you go on, you unlock tools to you unlock like a ladder to climb up to a higher part of the island, and then so as you go on, and there comes, I don't want to say too much. I mean, it's not exactly a story heavy game, but I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But there comes a point where one of the missions, it's not even a mission, but one of the objectives that you have, once you complete, you basically get a credit roll. And that's, for want of a better term, the game complete. But once you've seen the credits roll, it then lets you have some extra things to manipulate the landscape of the island, so you can carry on playing and just just make your own objectives after that. So I mean, there is a goal you can work towards, but it's never really the reason you're playing. It's just something that's there, and It's a strange one. Because I really don't like grinding in games.
No, me neither.
I really don't.
Yeah.
But the two, it reminds me of when I started playing Minecraft, which is essentially just grinding the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. I really enjoyed Minecraft. And it's the same with this. I mean, if you look at it on paper, it is essentially just Animal Crossing is just grinding for materials and grinding for coins.
Yeah.
But I think it's the way it's done. It doesn't feel like busy work. It always feels like you're working towards something rather than just, you're just grinding to raise an arbitrary level on a character or something like that. It's,
It is funny how some games can sort of mask grinding in a way that's like much more palatable.
Yeah,
isn't it? Like sometimes you can tell that you're just grinding.
Yeah,
and sometimes you can do it without even realizing. Really.
Yeah, definitely.
It's quite nice.
Definitely. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it if anyone's on the fence about it. I would say it's the most accessible out of the Animal Crossing games. I think.
Oh, really?
Some of them.
Why is that?
Um, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say. I think, like when I've tried to play the other ones before, it just feels like it took a lot of effort. I had to persevere with it for it to really click with me. With this one, it didn't at all. I just, it's just really, it eases you into things. Like I say, it never feels like the stuff it asks you to do never feels like a chore. It never feels like you're grinding. You're doing things, you get I should have formulated my thoughts before we started, really. It's
That's all right. We've got the power of editing, so it's fine.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So cut out all my hesitations.
They won't know any different. It's fine.
You'll play. Anyone listen to this should be hear me go. It is a good game. Well, thanks, Tibbs. You are welcome. Yeah, I would say if you were going to try one, the 3DS version, New Leaf was a nice one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
But this one's a good one too. So that's my review. Stick that on your Metacritic.
It's a good one.
Pod-em-up. It's a good one. And another game I've been playing. Been packing it all in.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Remake. Final Fantasy 7
Oh,
Remake.
you have? You've started it?
I have started it.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure when that was out. I think someone said it came out early to make sure everyone got it.
I was going to say, I think officially it's out like next week or something.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Like, I went to pre-order it because we're not sponsored, but I went to order it from the Game Collection, which is where I usually do my pre-orders because they're really reliable.
They're very good, yeah.
But I went there and the pre-order button was disabled. There wasn't any option to order it. So I don't know what was going on there. So I went to Game instead. Yep. Pre-ordered it there, and they shipped it out like the next day.
Oh, that's pretty good. Well done, Game.
Yeah. So
can't argue with that.
Yeah. It's good. Well.
Yeah. I know you did as well. I played the demo.
Yeah.
And it's good as a game. It's good. I quite enjoyed it, but I'm just trying to remember what I even thought of it now.
It's not the Final Fantasy VII we played.
It isn't. No, that's the fundamental thing. I thought the boss battle at the end was a bit too much. It's a bit like kind of nuts, like all these things firing off everywhere, and it's just it completely lost the drama of the sort of turn-based battle of the original.
Definitely, I'm much more a fan of the turn-based thing. It feels a lot more strategic and a lot more.
It does, yeah.
Whereas
this is just plain, action, and there's nothing wrong with action, but it's just it doesn't fit with the whole Final Fantasy VII thing, does it?
When you start up the game, it does give you an option what kind of battle mode you want, where you can have like easy, normal, or classic. And it does say classic is for. If you want to have more control over the commands in the battle or something, I think that's meant to be more like the original. But I thought I think
that's what I had it set. But it was still.
I don't know if it made much of a difference because I figured if I'm going to play it, I want to play it the way that they intended it to be. So I'm going to stick with normal first, and then maybe go back.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I will say the storyline takes a fairly major swerve from the original. Shortly, directly after the demo ends. It diverts from the original story quite majorly. Not convinced about what's going on and the changes yet, but
Okay.
I think I don't know if we discussed it on the show or we were talking about it on Twitter, but I think we both basically agreed that it's not really a remake; it's more of a reimagining than a remake.
Yeah.
So I suppose they've got a bit of artistic license there to change things and.
Yeah, well, they're doing this whole stretching Midgar out to a whole game, so they're going to put some extra stuff in there.
Yeah.
Whether it's necessary or not, I don't know, but.
I'll tell you one thing. I hope that the next, chapters or parts of the game, anything the post Midgar game, I hope that's getting a physical release. I hope they're just going to palm it off as DLC.
Oh yeah, that would be rubbish, wouldn't it? I mean, it wouldn't. The thing is, they've named this Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That's the thing. I noticed
That's the confusing thing.
there's
So
nothing on the box that says like Remake Part 1 or
exactly,
Chapter 1. So
this is what I haven't understood about the whole thing.
Yeah.
As soon as they announced that thing, because yeah, you would think from that title that it is all in one. So therefore, they would add chapters, digitally.
Yeah.
Which would suck.
That would suck tremendously. Because my thought going into it was, if that's the case, then more than likely, way down the line, they'll bring out like a Game of the Year edition with everything included.
Probably.
But the Midgar section is on 2 discs. And
really?
I think it's the first. I don't know if I've got any other 2-disc PS4 games, to be honest.
No, I mean that disc is like 100 gigabytes big or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, good God.
So it's like an install disc that you have to do first, and then there's a separate play disc.
Oh my God! I mean, you'd have to clear out a whole load of games just to get it on there, wouldn't you? That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. I would say it's a gorgeous game, though.
Oh yeah.
Like the character models and stuff are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced about the soundtrack.
Okay, I thought it sounded pretty good. The orchestral.
Some of it does, but there's bits where it just sounds like it's being played out of tune, or like it's being played too fast. Especially like the during the bombing mission on the first section, after you beat that. The first boss, and you're trying to escape. The music just sounds really sort of discordant and I don't know. It's like they're all playing it. Every instrument's being played with a different time signature or something. It's very, very strange.
Right, okay.
It might be an acquired taste, but it's not. It's not the Final Fantasy I grew up with, so I don't like it.
No, of course.
But yeah, I think that sums up basically what I've been playing. So
yeah, I think if you listened to like any Pod-em-up episode before, you could tell that this was this opinion was coming. I think.
Yeah. It's not going to surprise anyone really, but
yeah. Okay, well, I mean, you're giving it a good go anyway. You're giving it a fair hearing.
I was going to say, I'm interested to see where they're going with the sort of slightly different tack they've taken on the story.
Yeah.
They've introduced a few elements much earlier on than they were in the original game.
Okay.
So yeah, it's interesting. I'll play it till I get bored of it. That's the best I can say.
One thing I want you to tell me when you get to it is how they do the cross-dressing thing.
I've heard that is in it. I've heard they...
Really?
Yeah.
I was wondering if they'd keep it in.
Yeah,
but
apparently they have kept it in.
I want to know how that fits in with this new look.
Yeah.
Because that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, I will let you know. But
okay, I won't look it up. Just tell me on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
cool,
so
okay.
What have you been up to?
Unlike that, I've only had one game on the go, really, and that's following on from my last exploits with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Mm-hmm. I'm on Pokemon Sword this time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's Pokemon, really. They're all pretty much the same, really. But
they are. It's the unspoken truth of Pokemon. I love the series. Don't get me wrong, but they are the same game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I say that they all. I mean, I've only really played the first one and Let's Go, which is the same. So this is the first time I've been introduced to any Pokemon since the original 150. So I'm encountering loads of new things that have probably been around for 20 years or so, but I haven't seen before. But it's good. It's I like that it's all based sort of on the UK, the whole region, the Galar region. So you get nice little British sayings and things. It's quite nice to see that in a game. And the whole map is kind of almost like a British Isles upside down.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's quite nice. And you get places like that have a distinct British naming set up, like Postwick was quite a nice name, and Motostoke and things like that. It's quite nice little touches like that.
Yeah. Do you know there's a place called Peasdown St John?
I did not know that.
That's a lovely name, isn't it? Peasdown
St John. Yeah. That's a lovely place. That sounds like a lovely place to retire to.
Yeah, Ashby de la Zouche.
Yeah, I know that one.
It's lovely. Yeah. And Penistone.
Yeah, we've got some lovely. People don't say this enough, but we've got some lovely place names in this country. We do.
Stoke-on-Trent. Anyway, carry on.
I have been to Stoke-on-Trent actually. It's
Is it as nice as the rumours say?
No, not really.
A land of wonder and mirth
and industrial towers and things. Yeah,
Slough.
Slough. Yeah, that's a good place name, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Slough.
Slough.
Anyway, it's Pokemon. It's good. Yeah, it's good. I've done 3 gym battles so far. The gym battle. I don't know if I'm assuming this is a new feature, but you can Gigantamax your Pokemon.
That is a new feature. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So you get during a gym battle, you get 3 chances to Gigantamax, and basically enlarges them. But then the other gym guy also can do that as well. So I guess it's strategic when you do it, but it's usually when I do it, he does it. So it kind of works. It's a bit of a gimmick, really.
Yeah.
But, it's fine. Yeah, it's all good. Not much else I can say about it really, but I'm enjoying it.
Well, I mean, Pokemon's Pokemon in it. It's one of those things. If you enjoy it, you're going to enjoy any Pokemon that they put out. Really,
I think so. Pretty much. I know there was a lot of backlash. A lot of diehard Pokemon fans were going, "Oh, this is a travesty that not every single Pokemon was in it," or something like that.
I kind of get that criticism, to be honest. I mean, if you're the key tenet of the series has got to catch them all, and then it's like, nah, you could catch some of them.
Does the previous Pokemon games have every single previous Pokemon in them? Do they?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I thought that was that wasn't a thing
anyway. Technically, it would be possible theoretically. So, if you had a Pokemon that you trained on the original Game Boy game way back when, you could transfer that to the Game Boy Advance games, which you could transfer to the DS games, which you could transfer to the 3DS.
3DS, and then to the Switch. I love that. That's really cool, isn't it?
But now I don't think you can do that, because if one of the ones is a Pokemon who's not in the new Pokedex, you can't transfer him over. And I think it was, I don't know. I do think the series needs a bit of a refresh. But I think, I don't know. Part of me thinks if you're going to start taking Pokemon away, you might as well just make a fresh start in a fresh region. Just say, right, no, none of the other Pokemons. We're starting with a new 150 brand new ones. But I suppose they've got to put Pikachu on the box somewhere, haven't they, to make it sell?
I think so. He's a big seller, Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But I always have a good time with Pokemon, so I can't be too mad at it.
Yeah. I mean, on the Pokemon thing, the actual Pokemon, the design of them, I find a lot of them aren't that good anyway, really, looks-wise.
They did get a bit ropey as they went on. There's one that's just literally a set of keys.
So I don't get that. Pokemon that aren't animal-based. I mean, to me, the animals in this world are the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they have regular animals, do they? That's the animals of that world. But when you've got the pair of keys, I mean, it just gets stupid, doesn't it?
There's a pair of keys, there's a chandelier, there's a bag of rubbish. It's like they were just looking around the office like, right, look, we need 50 new ones.
Yeah.
Where's my keys? Keys, yes.
Yeah. I know, you feel like it was like, 5 o'clock on the last day. Quick, we've got 5 more. I'm like, we've done literally everything. What the...
They spot the cleaner emptying out the bins. They go, bag of rubbish. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I'm cherry picking the ones that look cool, basically.
Yeah.
As you do. You don't want something that looks naff in your team. No. But it's quite nice, finding new ones. All the sort of the wild area is quite good because it's quite sort of open, and you can find lots of different ones. So your team will theoretically be quite different from another player's team, because it's just depending on what you find.
Yeah.
So that's quite good.
Have you done any of the online stuff? Is there any online stuff?
No, I don't know. No, I haven't looked into it really. It's still in the single player. I know there's DLC coming, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Direct Mini.
Mini.
Yeah. Other than that, sort of gaming related, I'm basically working on my own menu system for all my ROMs and emulators now.
Oh, nice.
Because last few years I've been messing around with Raspberry Pis and Recalbox and sort of Launchbox on the PC and stuff.
Yeah.
I've always liked the idea of having all of your games or loads and loads of them just in this sort of coherent menu system. You just say, I want to play that game, it just loads up. It's always been even when I was a kid, I quite liked the idea of that. And now it's a reality. But I'm quite picky with this. So I can't seem to find like a system or a theme that I want to go ahead with. So it's after I've been doing this for like 2 or 3 years now at least, and it's boiled down to the fact that I just got to make my own, basically. So that's what I'm doing.
That's quite an undertaking.
Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah. Well, there's Launchbox on the PC is really good. That's kind of, think of that as like iTunes for your ROMs. You can kind of organize them. You can get all the box art. You can scrape for all the info and everything. And it's really good. It gets all the European box arts as well, which is good. So I'm using the data from that, and the XML data from that as the basis for all my data. And then I've got this system that's HTML5 and JavaScript based, which is what I do for a living, so I know what I'm doing. That just sits in like an application, which can then load up the emulators that you choose from the menu. So I've got a lot of ideas for it. It's sort of working in a basic sense now. I can use it through the Steam link, so I can play it downstairs as well, which is important. That's been a little weekend project for the last couple of months.
That's pretty neat, yeah.
Yeah. I probably I'm building it for me, but I'm keeping an open mind as to whether I can share it with others.
I was going to say, you're going to open source it?
Yeah, I probably will. I'll try and bear that in mind, unless it gets so sort of convoluted and specific that it won't be any good to anyone. But I'm trying to keep it nice and neat so that I probably won't. I don't really want to have it as a kind of a thing that I will maintain for the sake of others necessarily, because I just don't really think I have the time.
Yeah.
But it'll be based on what I want, and if I might be able to fix small bugs and talk to people, but if it's open source and some people can take it.
I was going to say that's the fun of it, isn't it? You let other people fix all the bugs for you, and you just reap the benefits.
Great, yeah. So I'm really into that now at the moment. So that's
brilliant.
I've been occupying a lot of my time, so I'm hoping it's going to see completion at some point. Hopefully this year, and I can put it out there. See if anyone wants to play around with it. That's those two things really all I've been doing game-wise for the last, apart from our book club pick, of course. So any newsy bits you want to talk about? I mean, it's all Corona-based, really, isn't it?
That's the thing, yeah. I mean, that's been dominating everything, isn't it?
It has. There's no escape from it. I mean, E3 obviously cancelled.
Yeah.
That happened quite early on, didn't it? Everything else cancelled. PS5 and Series X delayed, I think. Is that the case now?
I don't know if that's been officially at the time of recording. I don't know if that's official yet, but I would be very surprised if it's not. I don't know if anyone's going to have the money for a new console, given that everyone's either furloughed or out of work at the moment. It's scary times, freaky times.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that at the moment. I say fortunate. It depends on your point of view, I suppose. But I'm still working full time because I can work from home.
Same here.
But my sector has been quite severely hit by what's going on. So I don't know how long that's going to last. So it's really. Yeah, everyone's hemorrhaging money left, right, and centre. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of disposable income sloshing about for people to spend £600 on a console.
No, I don't think so. It's it's tricky times. A lot of people, have actually got free time on their hands on the other side of things. If they're being, if they hopefully they've got the money sorted out from the government or whatever. Time to play more games, I suppose.
Yeah,
definitely. Is the other side of it.
And if you want to cheer yourself up, I mean, if you want to, ease the pain somewhat, Pod-em-up. Loads of episodes.
We've got 19 episodes before this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Each one better than the last.
Yeah.
Depending on what order you listen to them in.
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to the reverse order, then each one's going to be successively worse. So I wouldn't recommend that.
No, don't do that. So you got all that. I mean, we've all got gaming backlogs, haven't we? I've got hundreds of them in my backlog. So if there aren't many games and systems being released, we've got Steam libraries and PS4 accounts and all sorts of Switch accounts full of games that we haven't played yet.
I think completely out of chocolate biscuits. No biscuits. No rich tea. Love a rich tea to Dunkin' a coffee. Nothing.
I feel like I've jumped into a different conversation.
I'm just pontificating about the state of the world under the coronavirus Menace.
Yeah. Yeah.
We might have games to play, but no biscuits to eat.
No biscuit. That's true. That's true. We might not have biscuits. Yeah. Anyway, let's not dwell on that.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to.
Yeah, it's the biscuits that hit you the hardest, isn't it? Yeah. Streets of Rage 4 getting a physical release though. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yeah, I pre-ordered that.
Yeah, me too.
What version did you go for?
Switch.
Yeah, same as me.
Yeah, that means we can play online together.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Let's do that.
No release date though.
No, it doesn't. No, this is the odd thing. They're saying it's the window. This is what are they called?
Limited run.
Limited run. That's the one. They're saying the window for buying it is going to go on, until just after the release of the digital version. But no one seems to know when that is.
No
so
one's saying a word on when that's going to be.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's very strange.
I'm hoping it'd be fairly soon. This is the thing.
I'd hope so. I mean, they've been showing it off at lots of conventions and things, haven't they?
Have,
so I haven't watched anything about it. I'm
I've been keeping
completely
my eyes away
spoiler
from it.
free. So
Yeah.
I presume that it's in a reasonably complete state, given how much you've been showing it off. But hurry up.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
No. Okay. Do we have an incoming indie from yourself?
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't? Okay.
No, I'm
That's
sorry, I
fine.
don't. It has, it's been it's
don't
just
worry
been
about
a little bit.
Yeah. That's fine. I've got one.
Let's hear it.
Okay. This is called Clive and Wrench.
That rings a bell. Have we talked about this, or have you tweeted about this, or have I seen someone else tweet about this?
I might have tweeted about it.
Let me have a look.
We haven't talked about it. I won't spoil it. I'll let you see what it is.
Numbskull Games. Yes, I've seen them tweet about it. I follow them on Twitter. That must have been where I saw they're publishing it, aren't they, Numbskull?
Yes, they are. Yes, that's true.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a 3D platformer, very much in the vein of the Banjo-Kazooie school of game design. You play as a rabbit with a monkey on his back. They travel through time to some lovely, distinct open world levels. I'm assuming it's a collectathon. Actually, I'm not 100% sure it is, but I'm pretty sure it is. And yeah, it's been in development since 2011 by one guy, which is pretty cool. Considering when you take a look at it, it looks really cool from one person.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I just love that. I think we talked about it in when we were talking about Guinea Pig Parkour, which is made by one guy as well, Gary Pig. That these guys can go on for best part of a decade making this same game and have the sort of the commitment to see it through. I think that's amazing.
It is. It's incredible. I mean, people have been making, games on their own for, going back to sort of the old microcomputer days, like Commodore and Spectrum and things like that.
Yeah.
But the things they're able to achieve now, looking at this, 5, 10, maybe 15 years ago, that would have been like a AAA, full team of people producing that,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
now, there's people who can just do that on their own. It is phenomenal. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah. It's heading for Steam. Currently says winter 2020, so it's edging closer to completion. I think they're just focusing on PC at the moment. No console releases on the horizon yet, but I'm sure that could be a possibility in future. It's called Clive and Wrench, clivenwrench.com, and on Twitter it's at ClassicGJ if you want to find out more. It's really just a really nice 3D platformer, open world levels, all set in different time zones. Yeah, check it out. So,
Clive and Wrench coming to Switch.
Oh, it is coming to Switch, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
just looking on the Numbskull Games website at Steam Switch Winter 2020.
Oh, all right. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, and if it's Numbskull, there'll probably be a physical version as well.
Ah, very good. Oh, okay. I think the being picked up by the publisher is relatively new. I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, now it's time for
Jet Set Radio.
Let's look at the funk.
Welcome back. We're talking Jet Set Radio this month for the Sega Dreamcast. It was developed by Smilebit, who are a division of Sega, and published by Sega. It was released in June 2000 in Japan, October in America, where it was released as Jet Grind Radio for some reason. Do you know why that was?
I got no idea why that was.
No.
I assume there's probably someone with a trademark for Jet Set or something.
Yeah, of course, the old Star Fox.
Yeah. The old Sega Genesis thing.
Yeah, indeed, happened many times actually. Yeah. And it came out in November in Europe. As of 2012, you can also find it on PS3, Xbox 360, PC, PS Vita, iOS, and Android. And there was even an isometric variation of it on the Game Boy Advance in 2003. Have you played that one?
Very briefly.
Yeah, I was quite intrigued by it. There's also a Tony Hawk's one that's very similar. I think it even uses the same engine actually.
Yeah, the Tony Hawk's ones they're quite good actually. Yeah, it's quite impressive what they managed to do. It surprisingly works well as an isometric thing. But
have to check those out.
Yeah, check them out.
So it has a single 2002 sequel called Jet Set Radio Future, and that's exclusively for the original Xbox. The Dreamcast original is inexpensive. You can find it for about £10-20. Quite a few of them are out there. I think you'll probably have a hard time pigeonholing this game into a specific genre. I mean, I would call it kind of a platformer in a sense.
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it's platformer, collect-em-up, sports.
Yeah, so it's a brightly coloured 3D cel-shaded platformer of sorts, in which the main objective is to roam around open levels, spray painting graffiti on walls and avoiding police pursuit. Set on the streets of fictional Tokyo, and has you assembling a gang of rollerblading graffiti artists called the GGs in order to engage in a non-violent turf war with rival gangs Poison Jam, Noise Tanks, and the Love Shockers. Most levels are littered with graffiti administered by members of the other gangs, and you need to locate these and replace them with your own artwork within the time limit. Almost constantly on your tail are the police, who are led by the pretty deranged Captain Onishima, and the increasingly drastic armed forces that he calls in, including riot police, missile-firing helicopters, and tanks. The developers, Smilebit, were a Sega studio formed from members of Team Andromeda, who made the Panzer Dragoon games. It was directed by Masayoshi Kikuchi, who wanted to steer away from fantasy, sci-fi, or anime-style designs and create something original, cool, and grounded in modern popular culture. The general visual design came before the gameplay mechanics or even the game genre, and he cites the pop cultural relevance of Parappa the Rapper and the anti-establishment themes of the movie Fight Club as inspirations. There you go, that's a little bit of background info on it.
Well, I think he succeeded. I mean, it is a very distinctive, the cel-shaded style and the character designs. It's one of those games that if you see any piece of artwork from it, you know immediately, that's from Jet Set Radio. It's very iconic designs in that.
Yeah, it's one of the key features about it that people talk about the most. I think it's one of the things that's helped it still look really good to this day.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that was one of the first cel-shaded games, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah. The other main one I remember at the time was 13. Do you remember it's like a first-person shooter? I can't remember if that was before or after Jet Set Radio, but that's the other one that sticks out as being cel-shaded and quite popular at the time.
Yeah, so this was 2000, so it was very distinctive. It would have turned a few heads, definitely. And I from what I've read, the whole sort of the culture of it, as a lot of it rings a lot of bells with a lot of people, and they have a lot of fond memories about this game, just because it's so unique visually, and the music, the whole style of it is like nothing else, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's completely unique.
Yeah, it's just the characters, the whole thing is just bursting with life. I think it's just so colourful. The music in particular, I think, is there's not a lot out there that sounds quite like this. There's a whole load of different genres it covers, including hip-hop, J-pop, funk, electronic dance, rock, acid jazz, and trip-hop. I don't even know what some of those are, to be honest, but they're all genres, apparently, and they're all covered in this game. But yeah, it's very distinctive. It kind of reminds me of when we were talking about Toe Jam and Earl last year.
Yeah.
That sort of funk soundtrack was very distinctive at the time as well, and I think this kind of it stands out in a similar way from other games around at the time.
Yeah, definitely. I thought that there was a band that I thought was in the first game, but I've just checked and they're actually in the second game. But
Hmm.
there's a band called, I think it's pronounced Biz. It's just BIS.
Hmm.
And they're just they've done loads of like songs in all kinds of things, but they're like these. They're one of these bands where you've probably heard music from them, but you've never actually heard of them. They did like obviously Jet Set Radio Future. They've done the Powerpuff Girls theme tune,
Oh, really? Wow, that's
and
random.
they did a. They actually had a cartoon series that wasn't about them, but they would randomly pop up in animated form halfway through the episode and sing a song about what was going on in the show, and then disappear again.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I mean, there's lots of odd quirky bands, I would say, and quirky artists that provide the soundtrack to the games. I think that's probably what gives it such an unusual soundtrack. Really, lots of sort of heavy samples and
Yeah, lots of samples. I noticed that. Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, like I say, it's just a very unique soundtrack. Really,
Um, you mentioned last episode that you played this a lot in. I think
I
you said
did.
2003.
I think it's 2003. Yeah, I played
Yeah,
it
yeah.
non-stop.
Really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
really got into it.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I've tried to play this game 3 times before, and I never quite got on with it. So I wanted to pick this game just to give it a proper go this time to see if I can get around it. And ultimately, I kind of didn't really.
In what way? Is
I
it the
think it's
control system?
the controls
Yeah.
mainly. Everything else I love about it. I really want to love this game because everything that we were just saying, the graphics, the music, and the whole feel of the characters, I love. I think it's really, really cool. I think it's a really cool looking game. But those controls, there's just something about them. They're quite floaty.
Yes.
Because obviously the characters are on skates, which I don't think we mentioned thus far, but they are. And sort of jumping is I found quite difficult. So you can't quite easily change your trajectory sometimes,
You
especially if you
can't.
jump
It's
off.
it's like moon physics, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I don't know. I feel like it's one of those games where if you know how to play it, you can have a lot of fun. But until you get to that point, it can be quite frustrating.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I would agree with that. It's one of those games. If once it clicks with you, once you become accustomed to the really quirky way it controls,
Yeah,
you're fine. Um, but it's just overcoming that hurdle of getting comfortable with the controls. Um, there's another game on the PS1, the original V Rally. Um, it reminds me of that. That game is the controls. The first time you play it, are absolutely awful. It's borderline unplayable. But once it clicks, once you realise what it wants you to do, and you sort of adapt to the I hasten to say shortcomings of the controls. You can have a lot of fun with it, and I think it's the same with Jet Set Radio. There's certain things that I still like. You can hang on to the back of vehicles as they go up the hill.
yeah, that's a cool feature.
It's a cool feature, but I can never, even after all the time I put into it, I can never get that right
Yeah,
consistently.
yeah. I only did it in that tutorial bit that shows you how to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never managed to pull it off just in the level or anything.
it's the controls in Jet Set Radio Future are a lot better.
Are they? I was going to ask that because I have that as well. And I
Yeah,
wanted to play that, but I wanted to play this first.
yeah, I would
Yeah,
say Jet Set Radio Future is the easier of the two games to control. My
that's
main
good.
criticism for Future though was they removed in the same thing about speaking about the controls.
Mm.
I really loved in Jet Set Radio the way you had to do like when you spray paint a wall. Like you can find, like you said, there's tags on various like buses and walls and things that other
Yeah,
gangs have left in your territory, and you can spray paint over them. But the sections where you'll have to do murals, and you have to do like a little quick time event where you move the analog stick round in the directions that it says on the screen. order to complete the spray paint on that part of the wall.
Yeah.
I really love that because it kind of makes you feel like you are sort of moving the spray paint around, and it's got a really nice feel to it that feels like you're in control of the spray can almost. They got rid of that completely in Jet Set Radio Future, and it is just spray and that's it, done. I don't know why they did that.
It's interesting to say that you love that, because I actually found that bit really frustrating.
Did you?
Yeah, because I get what you mean. I get what you mean by saying it makes you feel like you're doing it by sort of mimicking the actions and stuff. But I just found that really unresponsive. I don't know if I don't know if it didn't match my expectations, because I expected, when it says, turn anti-clockwise, I expect to do one turn of anti-clockwise and it does it immediately. It seemed to take a few goes before it actually registered. And I don't know if that's because, now that you say that, it may be because that it means you just keep doing it until the game accepts you've done it a certain number of times, or if it's just not picking it up properly.
Well, yeah, I mean, when it says anti-clockwise, like a full rotation anti-clockwise should be all it needs. You shouldn't have to keep doing it. So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've had this previously on all the times I've played it previously. I remember this being an issue. And I say that because I've emulated this version, but I have previously played it on an actual Dreamcast and the 360 version. I'm pretty sure that I had the same. I came away feeling the same. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Because I do struggle with these kind of quick time events and sort of rhythm games and stuff. So maybe it is just my technique is completely wrong when I'm asked to do these these random like thumbstick changes or button presses and stuff. I don't know. It could well be that. So
I usually
maybe
don't like quick time events because
yeah,
I can't tell my left from my right on the spot.
I'm glad you said that, because I struggle with that too.
Yeah. Like, obviously I know which way's left and which way's right, but if you ask me on the spot, press the left button, my mind just goes, and I end up pressing the wrong one.
I do that sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
it's weird,
and
isn't it?
I hate QuickTime events for that reason. I just can't do it. So maybe I like these ones because it's just a nice analog stick. I could just waggle it about, but
yeah.
Okay,
that's interesting.
I would say that the controls are the big barrier for this game. It is going to put a lot of people off.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's a shame because otherwise it's really good,
Yeah.
I love the whole concept of the game. That the gameplay is very Sega. It's very sort of jump in a level and do these things. It doesn't overcomplicate itself. It's got bright colours, great music, as we've said before. I keep saying, but I really want to like this game. So I might well give Jet Future a try because it sounds like it might be better suited for me.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely. It sounds to me like Future addresses some of the obstacles that you particularly had with the game. So it might, and I think it's fair to say Future is probably the more well regarded of the two games. So
okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, you might get on better with that.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I got to in the game as well. It was a point where I had two levels where instead of going around spray painting things, you have to tag the back of the rival gangs as they're moving around.
Yeah. I
found those impossible. I just could not do them at all.
Yeah.
And I tried so many times, and I neither of them I could get. So I just got stuck in the game. I think it's about halfway through or something.
It's about halfway through, I think.
Yeah. I just couldn't. I wanted to do more to try and give it more of a chance, but I just couldn't get past these. And you can't. At least I couldn't see any way of redoing the levels that you've already done. As well, is there a way of doing that?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I got to be honest. I didn't play that. I only played enough to refresh my memory on it because,
sure, yeah.
Like I say, it's been a bit of a month. But no, I can't remember. I do remember the fact that you can spray paint on the back of the police officer, though, the detective who's chasing you.
Can you?
Yeah,
oh, right. I didn't know that.
That's great.
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, the levels where you got to chase down Monster Jam was the ones I remember having particular trouble with the first time I played it. When you got to chase Monster Jam down,
I can't remember which group is which, but there's one in the sewer.
Yeah, the sewers.
Yeah, that's really because the level design is really sort of circular.
Yeah.
Through the tunnels, and then once you've lost them, you got to backtrack quite far. The other one was in a city. It was a bit more open, a little bit easier to catch up with them, but I just couldn't get close enough to because they're moving at exactly the same speed as you are, as it feels like. So
Yeah.
you kind of got to be matching them, exactly, and you've got to be really close to them as well before the tag thing comes up that allows you to spray them. So
Yeah, there's not much room
yeah,
for error with it at all.
I
I mean,
couldn't.
I mean, in general in the game, really, there's not much room for error. You've got to be pretty accurate with everything in the game,
Yeah.
really. But
It's interesting because the game got really good reviews when it
yeah,
came out, and I happened across a review. Did I happen across it? I think I might have just seen it somewhere, but a review of the 2012 re-release that actually said that they, having played it again, 10, 12 years later, that they're sort of re-evaluating their original viewpoint of it because the controls aren't as good as they remember. And I thought that was quite interesting because I think it must be that since then we've got more used to better controls in games in general, that perhaps we have a higher standards of being able to get into it straight away. I mean,
yeah, maybe. I don't think it's fair to reassess a game based on modern.
no, it isn't. No, I mean that's kind of what I'm.
Yeah,
I mean, I try not to, but it's difficult. Sometimes it is difficult to come to reach the same conclusion that you would have done in 2000.
oh yeah, definitely. No, I know what you mean. I mean,
Having experienced everything you've been experienced, it's difficult to forget some of that. So it's
oh, definitely. I mean, if you go back and play GoldenEye on the N64 now,
yeah.
it runs like a dog.
Oh yeah,
It's
sure.
dreadful. But it would be unfair of us to say, well, I'm gonna, maybe I should rethink my score of it.
Oh yeah, no,
on,
you wouldn't. Exactly. I don't think they were saying that as such. It's just
yeah, good.
yeah, no, I don't think they were saying that, but it's more just like it just
Just
I think it's
pondering
just
the fact that have we just got used to have controls just evolved past what we were dealing with then?
I mean possibly. I mean that was 2000. I mean 3D had been around for a few years, but it was still relatively early on. I mean, and
Oh,
because again,
definitely.
it's a unique game,
Oh
and
yeah.
that sort of movement around it hadn't been done too many times before. So
No, not really. I mean,
it is difficult, to
you
have
mentioned
like a
Tony
go on.
Hawk's earlier.
Yeah,
Before Tony Hawk's, you look at skateboarding games and extreme sports games in general, they were very, very janky. I think Tony Hawk's was like the first one to really find a formula that works. So I think any kind of extreme sports game, and I think Jet Set Radio takes a huge amount of influence from things like Tony Hawk's and
yeah,
extreme sports culture in general.
yes,
Um,
yeah.
there weren't many games that had done it right up until then, so they didn't really have a lot to crib from, really.
No, that's perfectly fair. Yeah. I know it is a tricky one really when you're playing retro games. 20 years down the line, you want to be fair, but at the same time, you're also spending your own time playing these, so you want them to be playable.
Yeah, and you do
So
get spoiled by modern
you do. It's
modern
it's
enhancements.
unfortunate. There are some games that kind of evolve to a point where their original version is very difficult to play now. I think there's a lot of examples of that in the first couple of generations of 3D consoles.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So it is one of those things, but nonetheless, it is. We keep saying it's an extremely distinctive game. I would recommend you try it because even 20 years on, it's still like nothing else really.
I think it's one of those games as well that it highlights the frustration that I have with Sega as a company
Sure.
in the fact that they know that people want this game. They know that it's got an audience. Evidenced by the
Yeah.
fact that they've re-released it on every major platform since the Dreamcast. Everything's got a version of Jet Set Radio on it, but they won't
Yeah.
make a new one.
No.
Won't make a new one. We'll put Easter eggs in other games, and we'll include them in characters in Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, and we'll keep on releasing merchandise and novelty socks with the characters on, but we won't make a new game.
Yeah.
Annoys me. I don't. I swear out Sega.
It is annoying. I mean, Yeah, I kind of feel like they're starting to change their tune on things like that, though, with Streets of Rage 4, for example. Although they're
Yeah.
getting another company to do it, I think that's fine. If they could do the same with Jet Set Radio and a whole bunch of other IP, then that would be great. I think they are starting to realise the value in their own retro properties and the possibilities of doing more with them
I hope
beyond
so.
just merchandise. So I think I agree with you. I think I would start now to give them the benefit of the doubt and
I
hope that they're
suppose they did
maybe
release
starting to
that
think about it.
Space Channel 5 game, didn't they? That
Exactly, yeah.
I still haven't
That's
played.
true.
Um,
That's funny because you're really excited about that
yeah,
last
I
time.
know, I know. Like I say, it seems so long ago now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does actually, yeah.
Actually, on the last show, I can't remember. Had I seen the Sonic movie by then?
No, you hadn't. You've seen it now, have you?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you
Yeah,
enjoyed it. Yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. As a little side thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to add? Or just good?
Um, buy it,
Yeah.
buy it.
Yeah. I think they're digitally releasing it soon, early, because of a lot of movies are. I think
Oh no,
recent movies.
Jet Set Radio.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, buy that too.
Buy that, but buy the Sonic movie too.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's good.
Good, fun
I thought
family
it was
movie.
very entertaining.
Yeah.
But buy Jet Set Radio. It's on Steam.
It is on Steam.
That's
Yeah.
probably the best version to go for. The 360 version was pretty good, but I don't know if you can even buy that now. I don't know what the state of the marketplace is on Xbox Live and
I
or
think you
anything.
can.
Yeah,
I don't know if it works on Xbox One or not.
don't
Might do.
know.
But I think you can still buy 360 games on the 360, I believe.
Oh, good. In that case, yeah, get it on that.
Yeah, for the time being, anyway. Um, yeah, it's good. I've got some Twitter comments that people have left for us.
Oh, let's hear 'em.
Yeah. So this is from @EmilXOM. The HD port is one of the reasons I still use my PS3, to be honest. Always come back to this game when I need inspiration for drawings. And @Java_Finch, it's the best thing in the world, which is quite a statement. Still not losing hope for a Jet Set Radio Future port and/or a new game, as we've just discussed. So many of my tastes and interests directly or indirectly come from having played Jet Set Radio. I'm really into its music and style, and the more I learn about it, the cooler it seems. And then @_Jack_Young, it was more than just a game. It was a reminder that video games are an art form, similar to Shadow of the Colossus. It was
Yeah.
a game that, in a way, taught you to be yourself and to stand up for yourself and others, especially through creative expression. I mean, there's some pretty amazing comments, really, that this game has kind of changed people's lives in a
Yeah.
in a way.
I love it. I mean, it's a recurring thing on our show.
Seems to be whenever we read out people's Twitter comments, they're always really, really passionate people about the game, and
Yeah.
it's lovely to see. Yeah,
I really love it, especially when someone has been inspired to, take up an artistic endeavor of some kind on their own, or even if it wasn't the game that directly inspired them to take it up, if it inspired a new way of doing whatever they were artistically involved in the beginning. I just love the fact that the games can have that effect on people.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
brilliant.
even in terms of like influence in someone's taste in music, or an appreciation of an art style, or I love it. It's just really, it's what's so great about games.
Oh, it is. I mean, it always amazes me people who don't play games just because of some sort of preconceived, conception they have, because they don't really get how important they are to us. The sort of the generation of people who grew up with games and see them as more than just a time wasting thing, as an actual active hobby and something that truly inspires us in every direction.
Yeah.
And I think if more people understood it as a medium like movies and music and TV and books, think of how much more inspiration there would be out there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, like I mentioned earlier, that 83-year-old grandmother who was playing
Yeah.
Animal Crossing. I
That's
love
amazing.
that.
Yeah,
Who'd have thought that an 83-year-old would, spend 4,000 hours glued to a 3DS. It's just fantastic. It's got so much cross-generational appeal. It really is for everyone. If you can get past that stigma and think, not everything is all guns and guts and blood,
Exactly.
and there's so much.
Oh, especially
under
nowadays
the surface.
with the indie scene, there's that I truly believe that gaming is far more varied than any of those other things I've just mentioned.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Whoever you are, I'm sure you can find a game for yourself.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear recently about I think it was maybe a 90-year-old Japanese lady, her Game Boy. She got this Game Boy for years and years and years, and she loves it. And it broke, and she wrote to Nintendo, and they managed to find her a sealed new one, not an unopened original Game Boy from their warehouse. And
No
they sent
way.
It to, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's a really heartwarming story. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, lovely. Well done, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that kind of sums up what we were, the show really. Unless there's anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah. Apart from your book club.
Yeah, apart from
next,
my book club. Yeah, I think I would encourage you to give Jet Set Radio Future a try.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
It might just smooth out the things that were stopping you from enjoying this one.
I'm hoping so. Yeah,
and
I got it on that double disc that's got, I think it's Sega GT or something on it.
Is it?
The one?
Is it San Francisco Rush?
No, I think it's a Sega touring cars game or something.
Ah.
But it's like a double. It came with some of the Xboxes, but
Yeah.
I bought it fairly recently on eBay because it was a bit cheaper than the original, the actual game. So I haven't tried it yet, but I will pop it in.
Yeah, pop it in
one day. Yeah. So, book club, next month's book club.
Yes. You've got a bit of a decision on this one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I've been in two minds about. There's two very contrasting games, and it's going to be up to you what you want. So.
Oh, go on then. I'm excited. Go on.
Do you feel like tackling another survival horror, or do you want to tackle something more family friendly?
Oh God. I mean, how survival horror are we talking?
Not zombies.
Okay.
But more survival horror than Overblood.
Okay. Oh, well, I know what I want to pick, but I don't know if I should push myself into uncharted territory. What system is the survival horror for?
PS1.
Okay. That's not too bad. I'm thinking that the sort of the less realistic graphics will somehow make it less scary. I don't know. What system's a family-friendly game for?
PS3.
PS3. I don't have a PS3, so that might be.
It's also for Xbox as well. Xbox 360.
Okay. Oh man. Go on then. Let's do a survival horror.
Okay, the game we're going to be playing is Dino Crisis.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That's fine.
Yes.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't know it, but I'm thinking dinosaurs are a lot less scary than zombies. I don't like zombies.
What you could have won.
Okay.
The other choice was going to be Toy Story 3.
Oh, okay.
So quite a contrast.
Oh, right. That's random. I don't know anything about that game.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe we'll save that one for a future episode. But Dino Crisis is what we'll be playing.
Okay, I'm kind of glad I made that actually, because I've always quite liked the look of Dino Crisis. Yes,
I've played through it a few times. So it's a favourite of mine, but I've been looking for an excuse to replay it again. So, the podcast gives us a good reason to revisit it and go through it.
Yeah, I always get it confused with Time Crisis, which is like a
light gun shooty.
A light gun shooty, yeah. Yes. No. Cool. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll fire that up. Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
Right. Okay. Right. If you want to get in touch with us, we're on Twitter @PodEmUp. Email podemup@gmail.com, and we've got podemup.net as well for our website.
We do. It's down at the moment, but
It's down at the moment.
It'll be back.
Yeah, we're hoping to get it back up shortly.
I think it's a WordPress problem. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, we'll sort it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
It's fine. Yeah. Cool. So, with that all said and done, stay safe, stay indoors, don't go out.
Well, that's a positive way to end the show. It's good advice.
Keep calm. Everything is fine. Just don't go outside.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. We hope to see you on the other side. Yeah. Okay. So, seriously, stay safe, everyone, and have a good time. Bye.
Have a good time. Bye.
Bye.